It is almost impossible to play great defense in college football 25 without having a killer blitz scheme to mix in. So it's time to pump up those sack numbers and force a ton of really bad throws so you can make some plays on the football and go the other way with it. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 blitzes that you can run that are all at a one formation that can be combined to give you a great blitzing scheme. First, we have a zero-man blitz that will really crank up the heat and lead to a ton of sacks, and this can get pressure even when they block an extra player. Next, we have a cover 2 blitz that is going to get some really good edge heat in on the quarterback, but also switches up the coverage on the back end, and this can lead to some bad mistakes where the QB throws the ball right to our zone defense. Then lastly, we have a cover 3 base blitz, but now this is going to be a user rush where we can fire in at the QB, and the best part of this is we can get pressure while only rushing 4 and dropping everyone else out into coverage. So the plays in this video will be run out of nickel 3-3 over, and I'm using the 3-4 playbook. And then here are the main reasons why I think you should utilize this blitz scheme. First is that you can use all 3 of these blitzes off each other, and they complement each other very well. Because we have an all-out pressure look with our zero-man blitz where we rush 6 players, and we can switch it up with our cover 2 blitz where we're only rushing 5 in on the QB. Then lastly, we have our cover 3 look where we are user rushing and only bringing 4 in on the quarterback, so we just have great balance with the whole blitzing defense. Then another reason is because these blitzes go hand in hand with my match coverage defense that I'm releasing at a nickel 3-3 over, which is the same formation as all these blitzes. So now off of these blitzes, you can go to cover 4 quarters or cover 4 palms, which in my opinion are the 2 most versatile coverages to use in the game. Now, if you want to know the rules on how to run these 2 coverages, I will link the breakdown for them down in the description below. Now, I'm in the process of releasing a full defensive scheme inspired by the GOAT Nick Saban and his legendary run at Alabama, where he led the Tide to become the greatest dynasty in college football history. Over the last 7 to 8 years with Saban at the helm, the Tide evolved into a 4-down lineman-based defense with a nickelback on the field that Saban referred to as his star position. Then the Tide ran an insanely advanced match coverage scheme that he refers to as his cover 7 group of coverages. But in his early years, to deal with the heavier power offenses of the day, he would use a ton of 3-4 defensive fronts, and this allowed him to control the line of scrimmage and stop the run while also having some great blitzes to get in on the QB. So the blitzing package that we are breaking down in this video is part of this Saban defense, and this whole scheme is going to be run out of the 3-4 playbook, and I'm going to leave a link down in the description for the whole scheme if you want to check it out. Now, the first blitz we are looking at is silver shoot pinch and nickel 3-3 over. Now, this is going to be our 6-man pressure with the 0-man coverage look on the back end, and this is going to get you an insane amount of pressure in on the QB, and this is going to be our base blitz call for this scheme. Now, if they do send everyone out on routes, we're going to get multiple rushers coming in unblocked with this blitz, but then even if they do block a running back, we're still going to get a free rusher in, making this play super tough to handle. To set this blitz up, first take your D line and you want to pinch them, then you want to slant them down, then you want to blitz all linebackers, then take the linebacker that is on the same side as the blitzing nickel, and he will be your user, and you just want to bring him down 1 step, and that is the setup. All right, so starting off with this silver shoot blitz, and this is really going to be our go-to blitz for this scheme, and it is going to be so great because it's going to work whether they block 5 or 6 players. Now, we always want to use the linebacker on the same side as the nickel, bring him down 1 to 2 steps, and you are going to see this blitz fire in. So we're going to have our linebacker looping right here. We're going to have our nickel coming off the edge, and on this play, they are just going to meet at the quarterback before he can even really throw the ball. So that is if they don't block their running back. Now, even if they do block an extra player, so we see right here, the running back is staying into block, we are still going to get the linebacker looping around the edge, and we're going to get the nickel out here. Now, the running back actually shoots out to block the nickel. That's going to leave the linebacker free as he loops in, and we are going to get the QB down. Now, as the user on this play, you are responsible for whoever is uncovered in man coverage. So here it's going to be the running back. Now, if he leaves out on a route, we are going to take him, but if he stays into block like he does here, then we're just going to be free over the middle. We see we have a lot of pressure coming in, man coverage across the field, and we're free to just pick up whoever we see over the middle of the field and try to help. Here we see the running back come open, we meet him at the catch point, we get the knockout. Now, if we are covering whoever isn't in man coverage right here, that is going to be this slot player here. So here they're running empty. This slot player gets vertical up the field. We have him in man coverage. He feels the blitz coming. We have to just step up here, run with that tight end. We step in front and we pick the ball off with our user. The rest of this play is just man coverage across the board. So this, we are relying on the pressure to get there, so we don't have to cover long on the back end. Here we have that pressure looping in. We're helping over the middle with our linebacker, and here our secondary player just steps in front and goes the other way with the ball. Then if you want to take this defense to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now, I have the second part for this nickel defense where I break down 4 more blitzes, but now they are going to be at a nickel 3-3 mint. They are just going to add a ton of variation to this blitz scheme and give you so many more ways to get pressure with this Bama defense. Then also up on the site right now, I break down how you can run the 3 blitzes that we're breaking down in this YouTube video in Madden 25, so you can also run this blitzing scheme in Madden as well. Then also have a ton more on the site for this Bama defense, and it can help make it one of the best defensive schemes you will use all year. Then also on the site, you can get access to my spread to run offense. It includes the Chip Kelly Oregon spread, the West Virginia Pat White scheme, and my Trevor Lawrence Clemson offense. And this is going to be an incredibly dynamic scheme, and by checking out the videos on the site, you can really take it to the next level. Now, by subscribing to the site, you'll also get all of my Madden 25 content, plus all the college football 25 material, all for one price. So for the site, you can purchase the yearly membership, which will save you $50 over the course of the year. But then I'm also going to be running my Madden 25 launch sale on the site, and this will run until September 9th. You can use code BAMA25 to get 50% off your first month if you do the monthly membership. And if you want to check out the site, I will link it down below. Then the next blitz we have is nickel 2 trap and nickel 3-3 over. This is going to be a 5-man blitz, but now we are going to have our cover 2 shell on the back end, and this is once again going to be a crazy pressure look that will all start with this nickel blitz firing off the edge in at the QB. Then if they do start to overslide or they mess with their protection up front, this can allow some of our interior players to come free also. Now this is only going to be a 5-man pressure, so we are going to be dropping 6 players out into coverage so we can have a really solid coverage look on the back end. And with them being hurried by the blitz, this can lead to some bad balls into coverage where we can make plays on the football. Now to set this blitz up, what you want to do is you want to pinch your linebackers, then you want to spread your D-line, then slant your D-line away from your nickel back, then take your linebacker who is on the opposite side of your nickel that's blitzing and bring him down 1 to 2 steps, and that is the whole setup. All right, so with this cover 2 blitz, really good blitz if they're sending everybody out on routes. If you're running a lot of our match coverage scheme, this can be a great blitz to run, because when you're running a ton of match coverage, they are going to send everybody out on routes, send their running back out on routes, and that is going to allow this nickel back to just come completely unblocked off the edge. So you see our nickel just free in on the quarterback. We're rushing 5, we get someone free. Now the nickel is going to come free a lot, but what I've actually noticed as well is between these 3, what happens is they will overshift to take this nickel back, and what will happen a ton is this defensive tackle will come in unblocked, and this actually probably even happens more than the nickel coming free. So you're going to stay in this gap, and what you're going to see is the center has to pause to take your user. These 2 players, if they slide out to take the nickel in the D end, the defensive tackle will just be completely free, and you are just going to see that an absolute ton with our DT. Then for our coverage on the back end, we really can either shade down and put hard flats on the field or shade up and put cloud flats. Here I put hard flats. I like that a lot. If we think the pressure is going to get to the QB and we think he's going to have to try to get that ball out quick, kind of feels the pressure coming, he tries to throw that quick route to the flat, and our cornerback just steps up on his hard flat, picks him off, and he is going the other way with the football. Then we can also shade up and put cloud flats. So we have cloud flats on the field here. We're going to hover. He blocks extra players. He's trying to get this ball down the field. We have our nickel coming around, and we have our cloud flat riding this all the way down the field. Then he tries to throw this out route, and our cloud flat picks that off, steps in front, goes the other way for a pick 6 once again. Then the last part of this play is with the user. Obviously, we are patrolling the middle of the field. So we're going to hover here for a second, then get out. And then even if they block up the blitz, they block their tight end here to block our edge player. We want to get down the field, see if we can pick anything up. We see him try to throw into this tight end. We step in front with our user and pick him off. Then our last blitz we are looking at is overload 3 seam and nickel 3-3 over. Now this is actually going to be a 4-man rush up up front, and we're going to have a cover 3 shell on the back end. Now, the pressure here is going to come from us actually user rushing with our nickelback, and this can lead to a ton of easy pressure with this blitz. So the best part of this blitz is really the fact that we're still dropping 7 players out into coverage, and we can get into the passing lane and create a ton of big plays with our coverage, but we can still loop around and come free with our user, making this a great change up to throw off our other plays. To set this up, all we want to do is take the linebacker that is blitzing and drop him into either a hook curl or a mid read. Then you just want to QB contain, and you want to user the nickelback on this play. Then lastly, you can either shade up or shade down and put hard flats or curl flats on the field. And I definitely recommend doing this, and that is the whole setup. Okay, now with this user rush, we want to user this nickelback, and I like to come up as close to the line as I can without giving it away that I'm usering this player. QB contain. When you QB contain, that should get the tackle to just jump out on the defensive end, and you just can come completely unblocked in at the QB. And you can see here, we're only rushing 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 with us. So we can send everybody else out into coverage, take away the passing lanes, and we get a hit on the QB. Here's another one. I come down, same thing, come around the edge, and what you will notice too a lot is they will feel this pressure off the edge. They'll have to step in the pocket, try to escape you coming off the edge, and here he just steps into our other pressure. Defensive end takes him down. Now, another thing you'll notice is, even just rushing these 4 guys, we can really speed up the QB's process. So we're rushing off the edge here. He tries to roll out. He was trying to roll out. He sees, oh crap, he's bringing a user off this side. He rolls out back the other way and just tries to check this down to the flat. Our flat defender is right there. We get a knockout. So even if we don't get to the QB, we can really speed up his process. And when people see it's actually a user rushing at them, they kind of freak out. Now, the other thing with this user rush, if they block extra players to take you, or we kind of run into a receiver and we don't get a free rush, what we want to do is we actually want to peel off and not user rush anymore. Turn this just into a 3-man rush if we know we're not going to get there. And now right here, I ride that crosser. Then I see another crosser coming across the field, and I take him. He tries to throw this up over my head, and I actually click too early, or that would have been a pick. So if you get shut off, don't keep rushing, bail out, and just pick up anything you see over the middle of the field. Now, the other thing you want to make sure you're doing with this play is either shading up or down, because stock on this play, there is seam flats on the field. We want to shade up and put curl flats where they're going to play deeper, or shade down and play hard flats. For most people, they do not want to keep seam flats on the field unless you really understand what they are doing. So here I shade up, I put curl flats. We are going to rush off the edge. They block their running back. I'm still going to try to come in free. You see we shade up, so we just have deep coverage over the top, and we have our linebacker, getting up the field. We have 7, 8 players in coverage here. He jumps up, gets a pass deflection. Now, with just what you have here for this nickel blitz scheme, you will be in a great spot. But remember, there's part 2 of this defense up right now on Scheme Kings that will give you so many more options to get pressure on the quarterback. Then you can also check the intro video for my Bama defense. You can get a deeper understanding on how this whole scheme will work together, and you can watch that right here.